Whether you're here, here, or at one of these, it doesn't matter. This can find you. The common name, Stingray. Technically, a cell site simulator. First developed for military use, it's made its way into local law enforcement. It can track a person down to the room they're in if they have their cell phone on them. Stingrays turn these into homing devices. And that's just the beginning.
These are tracking devices. This is emitting a signal. This is GPS.
Mike Mino with the North Carolina branch of the ACLU has been watching the spread of stingrays for years.
It's my understanding that the software that a lot of these devices use is capable of capturing things like your text messages, the numbers you're calling and receiving calls from.
That guy looks like a throwback from the 80s. Who wears a mustache like that anymore? Yeah, this is interesting because this comes from August 2017. So can you imagine the technological advancement in 2022 from back then?
You know for sure they're getting people's location.
Here's how it works. Cell phones are always trying to connect to nearby cell towers. A stingray acts like a cell tower decoy. In what's called a man-in-the-middle attack, it tricks cell phones into thinking it's the nearest cell tower. Phones connect to the stingray, and police can access a range of personal information. But they don't just get intel on one phone. Every phone nearby is forced to divert to the stingray. Calls are passed on to a real cell tower. Data scooped up stays with police.
When you ask them why they're using it, they'll say, well, we're targeting certain individuals. But the nature of the technology is so expansive that you cannot use this without countless innocent people having their data captured as well.
The I-Team has learned at least 3 law enforcement agencies in the Triangle have been using cell site simulators, but they don't like to talk about it, and may not be allowed to. These 2 purchase orders show Raleigh and Durham police bought variations of the Stingray within the last 10 years. Raleigh's...
Well, so what does that say about the Raleigh police and the other police department? They don't care about your privacy. They want to intercept the information that you have on your cell phone, and they want to be in control of that information. Wow.
Purchase order obtained by the I-Team 2 years ago shows the department paid more than $120,000 for the device. Separate documents obtained by the ACLU show Durham spent nearly twice that.
Wow.
In spite of those purchase orders, both departments claimed not to be using one. When the I-Team asked recently, Raleigh says they stopped using theirs because of outdated technology. With the Stingray, though, secrecy is part of the deal. Durham's contract with the device...
I don't believe one word they say. Oh, yeah, we bought it. We paid $226,000 for it, but we never used it, and it's not being used now. Matter of fact, I think we dumped that. Hey, Barney, didn't we dump that in the dumpster? Yeah, we dumped it in the dumpster. Yeah, well, I believe you. I believe you, police department.
Manufacturer includes a strict non-disclosure clause, not just about the Stingray, but about the agreement itself and its subject matter.
There is such secrecy around this, and I think it's because it's so powerful.
I have a cell site simulator, and we do use it.
Wake Sheriff Donnie Harrison is the only current law enforcement officer we could find here or elsewhere willing to talk even a little about the device and how it's used.
Wow.
It's a very useful tool that we use, not only for the bad guys, but for looking people that are lost, looking people that say they're going to commit suicide.
Oh, yeah, it'll never be abused. It'll never be abused by law enforcement.
Sometimes we have used them for children that's missing that have phones. And basically, that's all I'm going to say about it.
Harrison told us Wake County has had a cell site simulator since 2008. He insists they're always within the law and always get a warrant first. But there's very little public documentation of those warrants or of the use of stingrays in general here or in any of the cities in which we looked.
But no, we don't like to talk about it. You know, when a general goes in battle, he doesn't give out his battle plans.
Who are you in battle with? Oh, that's right. You're in battle with the people, but they'll use it as justification for having that kind of equipment. We're just doing it to nab the bad guys. And if somebody wants to take their life, you know, we're going to step in and help them. We would never abuse it and just like unleash this on the entire public or anything.
It's the classic question, safety or privacy? Law enforcement will tell you these things get bad guys off the street and help good people out in the meantime.
Of course they'll tell you that. That's the safety and security of the public will always be the alibi of tyrants. That's how they do. It's necessary. Necessity will always be the plea for every infringement of authority. Every infringement. Good intentions will always be pleaded for every assumption of authority. What it is, William Pitt the Younger said, necessity will always be the plea for every infringement of human freedoms. It's the argument of tyrants. It's the creed of slaves. The argument of this tyrant is we're just trying to help people. My gosh, it'll enable us to use the technology to talk somebody down from a bridge who's wanting to end it all. That's all we're doing. We're not going to spy on your private conversations. We're not going to enter your house. We're going to completely respect the First Amendment, the Second Amendment, the Fourth Amendment. In this case, the Fifth Amendment. Well, maybe there's a vague allusion to the Fifth Amendment right here. Like if you wanted to keep silent and not divulge any information, well, they're gonna go over that hurdle. They're gonna sidestep that right there. They're gonna like, hey, I have access to all the information on your phone I want because we've invested $226,000 into this system. They're not gonna throw that power away. Once power is accumulated, it's not easily given back. Once a psychopath acquires that power, you're going to have to rip it from his cold, dead hand to get it back away from him.
Critics say we just don't know, and we don't, by design.
As long as we do it lawfully, I don't care what people say. My job is to keep people safe.
No, your job is to protect liberties. Matter of fact, the time and time again, what is it? Gonzalez versus Castle Rock and DeShaney versus Winnebago County. The police are under no obligation to keep you safe. They're under no obligation to protect you. Like the Gonzalez versus Castle Rock, Mrs. Gonzalez was trying to put a restraining order on Mr. Gonzalez because she didn't want that psychopath, and that's, loosely using her words, to come near their 3 children. Well, guess what? She got the restraining order. The cops didn't enforce the restraining order. He nabbed the 3 kids, ended their life, drove them to a police station. All their bodies are in the car and had a shootout with the cops at the police station. In that context, the Supreme Court said that don't expect the cops to be obligated to protect you. That's a lie what that guy just said. He's supposed to be there to just safeguard liberty, not to keep you safe, but to safeguard liberty. This is the exact opposite of safeguarding liberty. This is stealing liberties. This is stealing anonymity and your personal freedom, your personal right to keep everything private. Amazing. This guy right here is, as long as it's lawful. There are a lot of things that are lawful that are anti-liberty. There are a lot of things that are lawful that actually end up harming the public that they say they're there to help. As long as it's lawful, I don't care what people say. Come on.
By design.
As long as we do it lawfully, I don't care what people say. My job is to keep people safe.
The public needs to know more. I think this is something that the courts need to know more about. There are real questions about whether a technology that soaks up innocent people's data can be used constitutionally.
Yeah, let's rely on the courts to protect our constitutionally protected rights. Let's rely on the courts. The courts who basically said, hey, you know what, Terry v. Ohio, let's go ahead and make police safety a higher priority than individual liberties. Because that's what Terry v. Ohio is. I like how it's boiled down. Basically, it's police officer safety trumps individual rights is what Terry v. Ohio is. We get to stop you. We get to frisk you. We get to suspect if you're engaged in criminal activity with a firearm. So that's it right there. The Stingray, how law enforcement can track your every move. And that was back in 2017, guys. Imagine the technology they have right now. Imagine them setting up a base of operations. You have no idea what they're extracting from your phone right there. That's why it's probably a good idea to have a VPN on your phone. Although I'm not so sure, maybe they can sidestep all that stuff. What a crazy, wicked world we live in. They don't lie to you because the truth will hurt your feelings. They lie to you because the truth might provoke you to make choices that won't serve their interests. Leave your thoughts about this for the world and the global thought police in the comment section below. If you haven't done so already, subscribe to the channel, hit the bell notification icon, give it a thumbs up, share it with everybody you know, and don't forget to subscribe to my private email list where you'll get a free ebook at highimpactflix.com.